Welcome back to Joe's Astrology, and today is March 21st, 2024, Thursday, and the sun is now firmly in Aries, and I'm noticing it in my life. Some literal examples. My father is now selling his car. He was planning on selling his car as the sun moved closer to Aries. And now that it's at 1 degree firmly in Aries, he has posted his car for sale. And if you haven't watched my other videos, I talk about him as an example all the time. Every year when the sun goes into Aries is something to do with cars. Uh, Very literal meaning with Aries being the driver and having some association with cars. Also today I want to offer you guys some examples of a friend of mine, his chart, his Mars return, the Mars return chart. So you've probably heard of the solar return. All the planets have return charts. I'm going to show you some examples. I think this is very rare. I don't know how much of this is talked about on YouTube. So let's get into the chart for today and some Mars return charts. Okay, here's the chart for today. You see Mars is getting ready to go into Pisces, which I think may help that Venus in Pisces a little bit. It being Mars, it not being an energy that's associated with Venus. You could say that it's really continuing to put a damper on that Venus with that Venus-Saturn conjunction. But we will see when Mars goes into Pisces here in a couple days. But I don't really think we're feeling the Venus exalted in Pisces right now. The Saturn is really putting a dampening on that Venus with more focus on finances and materialistic, maybe very looking to be very responsible with our money as opposed to the romantic and artistic side of Venus, with Venus and Venus being exalted in Pisces. However, that's going to change slightly as Venus moves away from Saturn. The sun is firmly, as I said earlier, is firmly in Aries, and we're going to continue to feel that Mars energy as it moves away from Neptune in the next few days. Here's a Mars return. I set Mars at 29 degrees 11 minutes, and it is here. You can see it is in the 4th house, and the ascendant is Libra, ruled by Venus, and Venus is in the 4th. So we have that Mars return and the ruler of the ascendant in the 4th. And this is a year where the native was driven to find a home. He had been living in an apartment that was not very homey, and he'd been living there for a while, and there was a realization that he had been sacrificing his home life for his work life. And this individual also had very good luck when they decided to move to find a home. They found a brand new apartment. It was a very nice apartment. It was kind of secluded, and like I said, it was brand new. We see that Venus with that Venus there in the 4th, and Mars, the drive to find the home, to find something that's different from what they've been living in. We also see Uranus in the 6th in Aries retrograde, and this was a time. So the Mars return, we have it lasts for about two years, and during this 2-year period, this person completely changed their work. During this time with Uranus, we see sudden change in their work. Jupiter in the 12th, spirituality became important. Sales became important. See that Jupiter-Venus trine. It was a very easy time to get into sales. The energy was very Venus-like. It felt as if uh, it was very easy. We have a Saturn Sun. The sales was in real estate. Saturn ruling real estate and it being in the second house. We have Pluto Mercury in the third, more of that learning about communication, transforming your communication through sales. See, we have the South Node at 5 degrees Pisces. We have more of that spirituality themes near the fourth house. Neptune in the fifth, expressing that spirituality, expressing the real estate sales, and of course we have Leo in the 10th, the Leo moon, really putting yourself out there and building your status as a individual, really showing your sun. We have the sun in Sagittarius there. You see that? Sun in Sagittarius conjunct Saturn. So I don't want to get too much into it. I hope I conveyed how the Mars return works in that chart. Let's take a look at another one. Here we are. Here's 2 years later. We have the Mars return here, and it's in the second house. And the moon is also in the second house, and we have the the Sagittarius ascendant ruled by Jupiter in the 11th. And here with the Mars and moon in the second, there's a drive to find resources. There's a drive to find money. There's a lot of emotions that were tied around money. And this is a time where the native really got into sales and struggled to find those resources. You can see with Mars in the second and the moon, extremely emotional time, even to the point where there's an emotional breakdown due to the inability to attain the resources necessary. We have Jupiter here in the 11th and the sun in Scorpio. We could say this is also a time where a person, the native, did find work that he felt he was unable to get before, finding a community, and he did that through traveling. He had to travel to find that work. And with the Jupiter in the 11th, there was in the end there was some trauma involved in this. Again, I said the emotional breakdown. We have the Venus in the 10th. This person that acquired the position that they acquired, they weren't able to acquire it the past 7 or 8 years or so. So there's good fortune. There's that benefic in the 10th in finding that position. We have Uranus at 29 degrees in the 4th. There was a move. There was a sudden move, a change of residence here. We see Saturn and Pluto in the 1st. The body definitely took a beating, and with Saturn being there in the 1st, prominent, it wasn't an easy time these 2 years, for sure. Let's take a look at the last chart. So we have Mars here at the same degree, the Mars return. It is in the 3rd house, conjunct the IC. And the ruler of the ascendant is Pluto. The ascendant is Scorpio. And this was a time of mental illness. Jupiter and Saturn is also there in the 3rd, but definitely Saturn. We have Saturn in Aquarius, Mars in the 3rd. This was a time of mental illness, a time of transformation with that Pluto moon, transforming the emotions. Another way that moon in the 2nd again, very emotional time again, surrounded around survival, second house survival, resources, not enough resources, unable to acquire the resources necessary to survive. We have the sun in Taurus in the seventh, really relating to people based on survival needs, trying to find people to help with their survival conjunct. And there it is, we see with Mercury in Gemini in the seventh, really conveying that they have mental health problems and need help regarding that. And we see Venus in the eighth with the North Node in Gemini, really uh, living off of other people's money, living off of um, welfare, the welfare of others, the welfare of the government in order to survive. We have Uranus moved into Taurus in the sixth, so we have sudden changes in health and illness going along with that mental health. Uranus being the mental health part, the sixth house being the health, the illness. Neptune in the fourth, there was during this 2 year period that was the home life was very cloudy, uncertain. I think I will leave that for there. That is the Mars, or a couple examples of a Mars return. If you'd like to check out your Mars return, you can email me at joeastrologer@gmail.com. And please like the video if you like the content and subscribe to the channel.